Good morning, Bay Ridge. Well, come on. I just want to say, you're all a little tired now, but after we sign this into law, you're going to get a good night's sleep. Okay, so the next time we get together, you'll be a lot perkier than you are right now. But I understand if you're a little groggy this morning, okay, because we haven't signed this yet. And first of all, thank you. It's great to be in this beautiful center, and I want to thank all my friends, Carlo and Jack Spatola and others who are the leaders of this community, and I want to thank so many for joining us coming out today. But the credit goes to our senator. And what you're going to see me do in a few minutes is sign a bill. I'm very good. My handwriting's not great. I went to Catholic grade schools, and I was a little rebellious with the nuns, so I do not have the beautiful handwriting that most people have when they've been educated by nuns, so just cut me some slack. But I will be signing this, and I will be signing it because of a lot of work that went on before. It was people like Maureen who said, we don't have to take this anymore. This is our neighborhood. We want to have a quality of life that every one of us deserves. And when that quality of life is impinged on, reduced, some people have the courage to stand up while others don't engage in the fight. But we're here today because of you and the advocates who stepped up, and I want to thank all of you for what you've done in getting us here today. But then you need a partner in government. You need to have someone who listens to you, someone who cares so deeply about this community. And maybe the fact that our senator has a 10-month-old baby who doesn't sleep that much anyhow. He just needs every bit of sleep he can get. Hi, Evan. So I want to thank Senator Andrew Gennardis for his leadership on this issue. Also very good to be in the district of Bill Colton. Assembly members, thank you for joining us today. Jamie Williams, who is very concerned about these quality of life issues as well and is a great fighter for this, for Brooklyn in our state capitol, and Bill Magnarelli, who's an assembly member from upstate, who was the co-sponsor of this. So I just want to thank all of you for caring enough. That's what this is about. The reason I ran for local government is I was a citizen, a young mom, a couple of kids. I didn't like what was going on in my hometown. I didn't like the development pressures. I didn't like the way that they were ignoring the needs of the people. And I started going to town board meetings week after week after week. And they ignored me. They didn't listen to me. And I started getting kind of fed up. And I said, the only way I'm going to make a difference and try to enhance the lives of others as well as my own family is to get on the other side and run for office and make change. So when I see a community that stood up for itself and fought back and fights for other people, you know I'm with you spiritually, because this is why I'm here today. That's how I got my start in politics, was caring about quality of life issues. And this was truly a collaborative effort, as I mentioned. I want to thank our leaders for doing this. And, you know, you talk about noise in the city of New York. We're used to noise. We really are. You know, there's construction going on. Carlo is always happy when he sees construction going on as the head of the Building Congress. So this is a good thing for Carlo. And there's just, you know, we hear sirens, and sadly we heard far too many sirens during the early months of the pandemic. And so we're used to this. This is not something that we don't deal with on a regular basis. But when there's voluntary noise that does not have to be there, and it assaults your ears at a time when you should be getting the rest your body desperately needs after a long day as a New Yorker, then we have to step up and do something. And I'm familiar with this circumstance because I live in a condo. Summer nights, the windows are open, and somehow the parking lot outside my house was a favorite spot of drag racing. I heard those noises in my own community night after night after night. And you put the pillow over your head, you close the window, and you just adapt. Or you have leaders like Maureen and our senator who stand up and say, no, no longer. So this is what you have done, not just for your community when we signed this bill. You did that for people across this state. And I want to give us some of the details of what this bill is all about. The SLEEP Act. Who thought of that? Very clever. I mean, that's clever. Good stuff. SLEEP stands for Stop Loud and Excessive Exhaust Pollution. And this was something that was chronicled not just from the communities but the newspapers. I want to thank the media for bringing this to the forefront as well, because that's sometimes how you have to create the public pressure for change. And that's exactly what happened here. And New Yorkers made over 3,000 calls to 311 making complaints like that. That's 3,000 people who felt annoyed enough, frustrated enough, who just had to pick up the call or contact 311 and make a complaint. So that shouldn't have had to happen. and others who feel that they have the ability to assault people in their community with the loud drag racing noise and these loud mufflers on their motorcycles and cars. They seem to not care about other people. And now we're giving them a message. You need to care or else there are financial consequences. And so what we have is this bill is going to stop repair shops from being able to install these enhanced noise devices. It'll prohibit repair shops or entities from selling, offering for sale, or installing any muffler exhaust system that increases noise. And to do that, you also have to have penalties. We'll suspend the operating license of an inspection station upon a third or subsequent willful violation. So we're getting a little notice, but don't get too complacent, because on the third violation, there will be consequences. And the maximum fine was raised to $1,000 from $150, so that ought to get people's attention. For cars, $500 for a motorcycle, for operating a motorcycle with altered exhaust systems. So when people get their vehicles inspected every year, there's going to be a question and there's a test. They're going to find out whether or not this occurred. That will be the ultimate way that we'll be able to get full compliance. And while they're there, if it's the case, then the person, the entity, the business doing the inspection should remedy that right there, or they will get a penalty and the owner will get a penalty as well. So this, I believe, is going to be a major step toward the little issues, that the annoyances that don't have to be there, because life is tough enough. Life is hard enough. And we can find a problem, as small as it may seem to other people, but affects your sense of well-being and the well-being of your family, then it should be risen up to the level, then it rises up to the level of attention to our senators and our legislature who believed in this cause, passed this bill, and now I have the privilege as your governor to sign it into law to make this become a reality. So I thank everyone for what you did to bring us here today, and I look forward to signing this very shortly.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Governor, for doing this, for gathering us all today, and to Jack and Carlo from FIAO for hosting us, of course. Senator Gennardis and I are close friends, and we work closely as partners in government. And this is one of the, I always say that some of the best laws come from someone marching into your office and saying there ought to be a law. When an idea for legislation truly comes from the neighborhood, from the streets, from the neighbors, from the residents, that's when you know you really got an important piece of legislation. And when we first started hearing these mufflers, we thought maybe it was just a problem around here in southern Brooklyn. Then I went to visit a friend in Inwood, and I heard it there. And then I got a phone call from someone in Queens, and suddenly we realized this is happening all over the city, where people were not getting sleep because of these obnoxious and illegally modified exhaust systems. And not only was it disrupting people's quality of life and getting a good night's rest, but it was scaring people, because some of these mufflers are tuned to a way that mimics gunshots. And people would be calling 911 thinking that they heard gunshots when it was actually one of these illegally modified cars with these mufflers. So this bill is really going to go a long way, and in the spirit of all politics being local in every neighborhood that's really dealing with this. This is really a great day. So I thank the governor for prioritizing this and getting this bill signed into law, and of course to my brother in government, Senator Gennardis, for getting this across the finish line, and to all the advocates, the Safe Street advocates who we work side by side with on so many issues for this important day. Thank you so much.
Modified exhaust systems serve no purpose other than to create fear, chaos, and intimidation. They stem from a culture of aggressive driving that has been tolerated for far too long. The signing and the enforcement of the Sleep Act will be a major step in not only reducing noise pollution, but in addressing reckless driving As a New York City resident who has been impacted twice by vehicle violence, the noise associated with these vehicles serves as a constant reminder of those incidents and the aggressive driving. As we face a record number of pedestrian deaths and injuries since 2020, more needs to be done. So I just want to thank the governor, Senator Bernardes, and Councilman Brannan for doing their part to make our streets safer. Thank you.
All set? Maureen here, everybody? All spread?
All right.
Okay. All set? Takes a little while, doesn't it? Sometimes I get it just right, almost. There we go. There, it's signed.